Welcome to Shaky Sports Journeys. Doing my level best to get as much T20 World Cup content action going as I can. And great guest, another great guest, ex-Scotland captain, currently living the life out there in Oman, and doing some commentary. Preston Mommsen, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, Shaky, thanks for having me. Brilliant. Thanks. After last night, what a start to the campaign for Scotland. Some win.
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. Just before we get a quick chat about that, you mentioned to me this morning over message that you're juggling. I thought Out of Office would have been on back for Scotland, but you're still working.
Still working, yeah, exactly. My company has been very kind and supportive, to be honest, of working out here. So yeah, days I'm not commentating. I'm on the real job. I had 5 days in quarantine last week, which meant I was super focused on work back home. But yeah, juggling both sides of things. So no, it's good. I'm keeping busy because obviously, I don't think that's one thing I've certainly had my eyes open to is bubble life, how difficult that is actually. You know what it's like going on tour. It's nice to get out the hotel, go eat good food at nice restaurants, etc., and experience the different cities you're in. So to not have that element of touring, it is very challenging. So I do feel for the guys, but yeah, fortunately I'm able to stay busy with the real job.
Well, I hope you're getting a wee dip in the sea or something, or in the pool come evening time now that you're out of quarantine. Are you in the same hotel as the boys?
I'm not. No, they are. It looks like they're in some 6-star luxury on the beach right there. We're in the cheap seats in the city, but no, it's still fine. We got a nice pool and we get 2 hours use of it a day, so can't complain.
Happy days. Look, that was spectacular last night. You were obviously on comms. Let's start from 53 for 6, because at 44 for 1, I thought, you know what, we had a slow start, but I thought Bangladesh actually bowled really well up top. But then to go from 44 for 1 to 53 for 6, things weren't looking good.
No, they weren't looking good. I mean, I think 44 for 1, as you say, that it wasn't bad at all. And you look at the class and the skill of the Bangladeshi opening bowlers. I mean, they are genuine pace up top there, and they were swinging it under lights. So I think Scotland actually didn't realize what a good start they actually had in those conditions. So it was disappointing that sort of went a bit haywire, as you say, to 53 for 6. And you know, most people in the comms box had written them off at that stage. As probably most people around the world had watching it live. But yeah, you know, big moments, you need big players. And fortunately, we had Mark Watt and Chris Greaves who put on one of the most valuable partnerships in Scottish cricket history, you would argue. The way they came out and played fearlessly, given the situation, was so impressive. And yeah, the calmness they showed and just built a platform for us to go at the end, which again, you know, we had guys like Sharif and Josh Davey coming in. You know, the value of their innings towards the back end there. You know, Sharif faced 2 balls, he got 8 runs. That's the difference in winning the game. But that just shows the mentality of the team right now, and you know, we back ourselves right the way from 1 to 11. It's the brand they play. They comfortable losing wickets. You know, I think traditionally Scottish cricket, you know, you would want to get through a rebuilding phase, you know, 2, 3, 4 runs and over, try and build a partnership. But these guys have a very, very positive mindset that they want to hit boundaries and they want to keep going, which was clearly evident with the way that Greaves and Watts came in, not just rebuilds, but they also dominated and shifted the pressure back onto the Bangladeshi bowlers. And, you know, at times there, the Bangladeshis didn't have any answers. So yeah, to get 140 from 53 for 6 was an incredible effort. And even still, you felt they were 20, 30 runs short, given the Bangladeshi lineup. It was pretty good batting conditions, and then they had to go and bowl in dewy conditions, and you were a bit concerned at how effective the spinners would be and how difficult it would be to field in those conditions. But one thing I think we did manage to do was take the momentum from the back end of the batting innings into the bowling innings. And Josh Davey and Brad Wheel were, superb with the new ball and put early pressure on Bangladesh.
Yeah, the first 6 overs with the ball was, I want to just mention this quickly because we chatted about this before we came on here, just quietly. That's one of the best shots Chris Greaves played, I think I've ever seen. I mean, I remember Kevin Peterson doing it to Scott Styris. It was one of the first people to do it. He slog swept it. But that shot was like, must have been thigh height. It was a foot the other way that he would have wanted it. He would have wanted it about here. So to drag it and get that distance for 6, wow, incredible.
It was incredible. And that really set down the marker because that was quite early on in his innings, to be fair. And, that just showed that he wasn't there to mess around and fill numbers. He certainly meant business. But as you say, the skill in pulling that off was quite remarkable. And he, fortunately for Scotland, he kept going with that positivity right through the inning.
We need your lovely face back, mate. I think you're maybe getting a call or something. So I've lost your face.
I am indeed. Apologies.
No, you're all right. You're fine.
That should disappear shortly.
Moving in then to what you were talking about just a second ago, which was the first 6 overs by Brad Wheel and Josh Davey. Incredible. I mean, by the time the power play overs had finished, the 6 overs had done, Scotland were in a pretty interesting position. And you're thinking, this is game on. While Shakib Mushfiqur were at the crease, I thought these guys have got experience. If they bat the next 8-9 overs, you'd probably think Bangladesh will have enough to get over the line. But we just had a knack of continuing to take wickets. Every single bowler that got handed the ball delivered on the day. I mean, there was not one bowler really. I mean, Leask maybe tossed a couple up in one over and went for a couple of 6s. But that aside, it was just consistency and the fielding and the catching. You mentioned the Jew. To take all those catches, to throw the way they did, to the ground fielding, it was just incredible to watch. It was world class.
It was indeed, yeah. And you see what a difference and influence having Josh Davey and Brad Wheel coming back into the lineup after having such successful county seasons this year. I would say they are the best associate cricket opening bowling pair. They both hit a fantastic length, and both of them have such great seam position that if there is anything ever on offer, they'll find it on the surface, particularly under lights. I always knew Josh would be difficult. I was playing in a game with him when he ran through Afghanistan at Abu Dhabi under lights with the new ball. So he enjoys those sort of conditions when there's a little bit of nibble. But yeah, they set the tone. I think Bangladesh were 24 for 1 or for 2 off the end of the power play, and they'd only hit 2 boundaries in 6 overs, which, I couldn't quite believe that a team of that class had come out with that sort of lack of intent. So from a Bangladeshi perspective, you'd be pretty disappointed with the way they approached that power play, but it fell right into the hands of Scotland because it just meant that we could keep containing, keep trying to build pressure, as well as, each new bowler, as you mentioned, each new bowler who got brought into the tack, they weren't really under that much pressure because Bangladesh were behind the 8 ball in terms of the run rate. So it gave our bowlers sort of a slight advantage just because of the Bangladeshi approach. But in saying that, you still got to do the job, and everyone stood up, right through Davey, Wheel, Sharif. Yes, Leaskey got hit for 1 big over. That's going to happen in T20 cricket. I don't think he bowled particularly badly. But Mark Watt, outstanding and excellent execution of death bowling, actually. I was very impressed with his Yorkers that he was firing in and getting some great variety. And then, of course, Chris Greaves, again, two incredibly crucial wickets, turning points in the game. And yeah, topped off an unbelievable night for him. But as you say, Raheem, Mamadula, and who else am I thinking of? There's one other, but between them they've got 300 or near enough 300 T20 international caps. You know, they should be chasing that down every day of the week. But that just shows the pressure and the skill that was on display by the Scottish 11 in that field. I went onto the field after the play had finished, and I was doing an interview, but felt the ground, and it was, you know, was soaking wet. So don't underestimate how difficult those catches were in the deep, how difficult the ground fielding was in the deep. I think Callum McLeod put on some display of catching, because you talk about catches winning matches, and you know, just even if he dropped one of those, it could have been a different result. So to catch as cleanly as we did under lights, the lights are quite low here in Oman, which makes it even more tricky, just with the eye line and the trajectory that the ball is coming. So yeah, it was hugely impressive, and yeah, in the end, absolutely, Scotland deserved that win.
100%. Now, Scotland, we like to sometimes, across all sports, not just cricket, football, rugby, we like to sometimes do the hard part and then slip up. Surely now that's gone. Great victory. Surely now coach will be sitting down with the boys and saying, right, PNG, come tomorrow. We need to put that away and focus on this game, because a win against PNG now pretty much sees Scotland go through to the Super 12.
Well, it's interesting because I actually see it differently. I think this group has the potential, and hopefully not from a Scottish point of view, but it has the potential for 3 teams to finish with 2 wins. So I would expect Scotland to beat PNG, and then it's a huge game, PNG against Oman. Sorry, Scotland against Oman, that final game. But if Bangladesh beat Oman and beat PNG, they'll finish with 2 wins. And if Oman happen to turn over Scotland, they'll finish with 2. And if Scotland beat PNG and lose to Oman, they'll finish with 2. So that is one scenario that is possible. You know, from a Scottish point of view, they are absolutely capable of winning the remaining 2, and they should win the remaining 2. But there is that outside chance. So as you say, and as people are becoming more aware of in associate cricket, you cannot take any game for granted, any moment in a game for granted. PNG showed glimpses yesterday of what they're capable of. Asad Vala and Charles Amini, you know, they were taking the game away from Oman, and they left 40, 50 runs out there, gave away soft dismissals. So Scotland need to be up for PNG, and I think they will be. As you say, there's a good mentality in the team. Shane's very level-headed, and I'm sure he'll get that across the team. Yes, enjoy the night. What a fantastic win. What a moment in Scottish history. But let's leave that for now, and we've got 2 very important games ahead. We want to finish top of this group. The ball's in our court, and it starts with PNG.
Same team, I would like to think. I don't see the need to be changing that up at all. I think there's maybe you could say Leask, maybe a Hamza could come into contention to bring another left-arm spinner. But I think Leask also offers, he's come out there and he's against Bangladesh. He's hit it pretty well. Maybe just a little bit more on it, and that goes for 6, and then he might go on to play a super knock. So I think he's still got a lot to offer. But that aside, I would like to think there wouldn't be any changes to that.
Yeah, exactly. PNG, they've got quite a few left-handers in their top 6 as well, and I think that strengthens the case to keep going with Leask. Leask has bowled well in the last sort of 8 games for Scotland. He's actually in pretty good form, and yeah, rightly, as you say, if he hits that 10 yards to the left of the man at long off, you know, it's 1 bounce forward, it's a great shot, and he's away in his innings, which I think is what he was trying to do. But again, it shows his intent, his positivity. I can't see them making any changes. I think I think we're in a great position that we have someone like Hamza Tahir raring to go in the wings. If a change is required, and I can definitely see him playing at some point at this World Cup, because he's been a class feature in T20 cricket for Scotland over the last 12 to 18 months, and his stats will certainly back that up. So he's perfectly capable, but I think the attack, the way they worked together yesterday, it's difficult to enforce any changes at this stage. I would agree.
It's a different game, isn't it? It's an earlier game, isn't it? Am I right in saying it's not an evening game?
I've got mine. I can't remember. I can't recall. But I think you could be right.
We're not on Sky Sports. I can take my phone out for 2 seconds. Let's have a look.
Okay.
Scotland, PNG game. Yeah, tomorrow at 11. So you should know this. You need to be there. You need to be there for that time. So it's a different game then. What's it? I take it there's obviously not going to be any dew factor. I can't imagine it does too much in the air around that time, or would you say differently?
Yeah, I would agree. There won't be as much on offer for Davy and Wheel up top. It is hot at that time of the day, so actually that probably plays into PNG's favour. They're a very, very physically fit team. They're used to playing in hot conditions. Not to say Scotland aren't physically very fit, but that just slightly favours PNG. But in saying that, it's the same ground. Scotland have performed well at this ground, not just in last night, but in previous fixtures. So I think they're comfortable at this venue. I think Scotland will take a lot of confidence into the game. PNG on the back of a 10-wicket loss. I'm not sure this is the right time for them to be playing against a fired up and very strong performing Scotland team. I think if Brad Wheel and Davy can do what they do up top and get a couple of early wickets, it could be a long afternoon for PNG.
Yeah, and hopefully like the likes of George Munsey, who was looking dangerous yesterday. I'd like to think he'll come good again and go big. If he goes big, it gives Scotland the great emphasis to get a massive total, hopefully bat them out of the game unless we're chasing. But I would like to see them win the toss, bat, go out, score a big score, and you would back our boys to defend that. Listen, I know you're a busy man. I know you're juggling lots of different things right now. I appreciate you coming on. Hopefully we can maybe catch up a few more times as the tournament goes on. I know I won't be paying you as much as the ICC, but even even still, it'd be good to have a chat, mate. But listen, keep doing great. I'm loving your commentary. Really, really insightful. And fingers crossed for a massive win against PNG.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks, Shaky. And yeah, great work yourself. Brilliant that you can bring so much coverage to people back home. It's great that the guys have the support. I mean, you look at Twitter, it's going crazy. Which that's what World Cup events are about, and that's why we've been making such a big noise. To get more cricket for associates, for teams like Scotland. They are capable of performing. They have the skill, they have the ability. They just need the stage. And finally, last night showed that we can perform on the big stage. So yeah, what a start, and let's hope it continues.
Yeah, onwards and upwards. Leave the Bangladesh one for now, and let's get on to the next one. You take care. Good luck for tomorrow. Have a good one, and maybe speak to you soon, mate.
You too. Cheers, Shaky. Bye-bye.